There's a kind of heaviness you don't really have the words for. Not exhaustion, not sadness, not burnout. Just weight. It sits in your body, in your chest, in your shoulders, in the way your energy moves slower than it used to. And what makes it confusing is that nothing feels wrong enough to explain it. You're functioning, you're showing up, you're doing what needs to be done, so you tell yourself you must be tired. But if you're honest, sleep hasn't fixed this. Time alone hasn't lifted it. Because this isn't physical fatigue. This is something you've been carrying. Stay with me. Heaviness doesn't arrive suddenly. It accumulates. It builds slowly, quietly, without asking permission. It builds every time you stay present when your body wants to leave. Every time you listen without being listened to. Every time you sense tension in a room and subtly adjust yourself to keep things smooth. You didn't choose this consciously. It happened because you're perceptive, because you're emotionally aware, because you notice what others don't. And here's something most people never realize. Your body does not distinguish between emotions that are yours and emotions you're holding for others. It registers all of it as load. So over time, your system didn't collapse. It became dense. Dense doesn't feel dramatic. It feels muted, slowed, heavy without being loud. That's why joy feels distant lately, why motivation feels sluggish instead of gone, why even good moments don't fully land in your body. You're not depleted, you're full of conversations you never processed, full of emotional energy you absorbed and never released, full of moments you stayed longer than you wanted to. And once you see this, once you really see it, something softens. You stop blaming yourself. You stop trying to fix your energy, because it doesn't need fixing. It needs release. If this put words to something you've been feeling in your body, not metaphorically, but physically, go to the comments and write, "This isn't fatigue. I've been carrying energy." Let that be the first thing you put down. Now, we go deeper, because accumulation doesn't happen randomly. It happens inside roles. Many of you became the stable one early, the one who could handle things, the one who stayed composed, the one who listened without reacting. You learned how to regulate yourself in environments that weren't regulated. And because you didn't fall apart, no one checked to see what you were holding. So you kept holding. You became the container. But containers fill. And when they're never emptied, they grow heavy. This is the quiet cost of being emotionally competent in emotionally immature spaces. You carried unspoken tension, unresolved dynamics, other people's stress, and you carried it so well that it disappeared into your identity. You called it strength, independence, maturity, but your body called it load. That's why you feel different now. Not broken, not lost, different. Your system no longer wants to perform this role. It wants neutrality, spaciousness, relief. It wants to exist without managing anything, and that can feel disorienting, even lonely, because you're used to being needed. But being needed is not the same as being nourished. If you recognize yourself here, the holder, the stabilizer, the one who stayed regulated, acknowledge it. In the comments, write, "I've been carrying more than my share." That recognition matters. Now this is where most people get confused. You tried resting, you slept more, you withdrew, you spent time alone, and it helped, briefly, because rest restores spent energy. But you weren't tired from output. You were heavy from intake. Rest pauses the intake, but it doesn't clear what's already there. That's why isolation felt good, but didn't fully resolve it. Your system isn't asking for more rest, it's asking for closure, energetic closure, which often comes from very simple shifts, such as not revisiting old conversations, not replaying interactions, not reopening dynamics you've already outgrown, not explaining yourself anymore. Energy releases when attention withdraws, not dramatically, but naturally. And the moment you stop re-engaging, something inside you exhales. That exhale is what you've been waiting for. If this clarified why rest alone hasn't been enough, go to the comments and write, "I don't need more rest. I need release." Let it land. Now we don't rush. Bring your awareness into your body and quietly say without force, "I return what isn't mine to hold. I release what I absorbed unconsciously. I call my energy back to myself." Notice what happens. Even a small shift counts. You weren't tired, you were carrying, and now you can put some of it down. If you stayed until the end, seal this moment for yourself. In the comments, write, "I release what isn't mine." Not for me, not for the algorithm, but for your body. This is Modern Mysticism with Mel. Thank you for listening.